In a quiet African town where red dust settled gently on old roofs and evening prayers drifted through the air, lived Grandpa Chioma and Mama Chioma. They were an elderly couple known for their deep love for each other and for their family. Even in old age, Papa Chioma still held Mama's hand as they walked, and Mama still called him my strength. They had only one child, Chioma. Chioma was their pride. They were not rich, but they were comfortable. She never lacked food, school fees, or affection. They raised her with care, values, and dreams of a bright future. That was why the day Chioma returned home with a swollen belly broke their hearts.
Chioma, who is responsible for your pregnancy?
It's Kunle, our neighbor in our former house.
Kunle, after all the training I gave you, I am highly disappointed in you.
Papa, Mama, I am sorry.
After all the care we have shown you, especially your mother, this wound cuts deep. But what is done is done. Tears cannot turn back time. Tomorrow morning, we will go to Kunle's house.
It happened in their former town. Chioma had fallen in love with a neighbor's son named Kunle, a Yoruba boy from a wealthy family. When her pregnancy became obvious, Papa and Mama Chioma went to Kunle's house, hoping for responsibility. But the door closed in their faces. Kunle denied the pregnancy. His parents supported him. They called Chioma a liar. That night, Papa Chioma sat outside under the moon, silent. Mama Chioma wept until her wrapper was soaked. They were disappointed, not just in Chioma, but in a world that could be so cruel. Still, they did not abandon their daughter. They welcomed Chioma home with her pregnancy. They told her she was still their child. One afternoon, Chioma stepped out on an errand for Mama Chioma, her mind heavy and her heart tired. As she passed by, voices she once trusted called out, old friends, now strangers. Their laughter stung, their jokes pierced her spirit.
Look, it's Chioma pregnant with no husband.
So this is how her story ends.
The next day, it was not her friends, it was the women of the village. As Chioma stepped outside on an errand for Mama Chioma, baskets paused mid-air, whispers followed her footsteps, and eyes judged her without mercy. Every corner held a new wound. Every road carried fresh shame. This became her daily reality. Each time she stepped out to run errands for Mama Chioma, the village reminded her that in their eyes, she was no longer a girl with a future, only a mistake walking.
That is the girl who got pregnant without a husband. In our days, such a thing was a disgrace. Her parents must be ashamed.
Despite the insults the villagers poured on Mama Chioma and her daughter, they did not abandon her in her pain. They stood by her. They fed her with love, wrapped her in care, and reminded her every day that she was not alone. In that small home, Chioma found the warmth the village refused to give. But fate still had another wound prepared. When the time came for Chioma to give birth, her body fought and failed. The night was filled with cries, prayers, and desperate hope. By morning, a child had entered.
We will name this baby Precious.
After Chioma's death, in their old age, Papa and Mama Chioma became parents once again. They poured what remained of their strength, love, and hope into the little life she left behind, Precious. Papa carried her on his back to school, even when his knees trembled. Mama sang her to sleep with the same lullabies she once sang to Chioma, her voice soft, her heart aching. They told Precious stories about her mother, how kind she was, how she loved to laugh, how her smile could light up a room. Through every story, Chioma lived on. But there was one story they never told. They never spoke of her father. 15 years passed. Precious was no longer a child. She was now a young woman, tall and thoughtful, attending secondary school. Yet no matter how much she grew, there was a question that had grown with her, one that never truly left her heart. That afternoon, she returned from school and found Mama Chioma in the kitchen, standing over the fire, slowly stirring a pot of soup. The room smelled of onions and palm oil, but there was a heaviness in the air that had nothing to do with food. Precious dropped her school bag gently by the door. She watched her mother's back rise and fall as she cooked, her hands steady, her movements familiar. Silence filled the room, thick and uncomfortable. "Mama?" Precious called softly.
Mama, tell me about my father.
Why?
Mama Chioma explained to Precious how her story began, with both life and loss. Chioma died immediately after giving birth to her. There was no recovery, no second chance, no time to say goodbye. One moment, a child was born into the world, and the next, a mother was gone. The following day, Baba and Mama Chioma sent for Kunle, Precious's father. They informed him that Chioma had given birth to a baby girl and that she had also died. Kunle did not come. Neither he nor his parents showed up to mourn with Baba and Mama Chioma. They did not grieve with them. They offered no comfort for the daughter they had lost, and no concern for the child left behind. Instead, Kunle denied everything. He said he was not responsible for the pregnancy, he rejected the child completely, and turned his back on the family in their moment of deepest pain. The words settled slowly in Precious's chest, heavy and unfamiliar. She stood there, unable to move, as if the ground beneath her feet had... Meanwhile, Kunle's life had turned bitter. He is now married. For 8 years, his home remained childless. He went to hospitals, herbalists, and prayer houses. One day, a pastor told him, "You have a child somewhere. Go and make peace." Fear seized him. He began to search. Through old neighbors and forgotten streets, he finally found Papa Chioma and Mama Chioma. He came with gifts, with apologies. "I am Precious's father," he said.
I am Precious.
Precious
father.
stood behind her grandparents and replied, "I have no father." Kunle begged. She refused him. Precious finished school. She met a kind man who loved her deeply.
To be my father.
When her wedding day
chose silence,
arrived,
he chose pride. He
Kunle
will
came
not walk me
again,
down that
dressed
aisle.
in white
I
agbada,
was raised by
ready
two
to
old people
walk
who had
Precious
every
through
reason
the
to give
aisle.
up, but they stayed.
Precious stepped
They loved
forward
me
and
when
said,
you ran.
"You had
You may watch from
22
outside,
years to be my
but you will not
father.
walk me down that
You
aisle."
chose silence.
I am sorry.
You chose pride. I was raised by two
It's
old
too
people
late
who
to be
had
sorry.
every reason to give up, but they stayed. They carried me when they were tired.
too late
They
to be
loved
sorry.
me when you ran. You may watch from outside, but you will not walk me down that aisle." Kunle fell to his knees, but the drums began. Papa Chioma held Precious's hand. Mama Chioma wiped her tears. Love walked her into her future.